you are choosing your future. And most people are choosing poverty without even knowing it. So every time that you spend money, you are casting a vote for your future, for the kind of future that you want. So tonight, we'll be talking about your spending habits today reveal your financial future. And 90% of the people don't even notice. Okay, so you felt it before, where the frustration comes because money keeps coming into your hand, but you don't know what happens to it. Has it happened to you? Say yes. You earn a lot of money. It comes at the end of the month, lots of money. But at the end of a month, you have nothing to show for it. And there are even people who tell me, oh, but we've worked. Somebody said I've worked in the civil service for 32 years and that there is nothing to show for it. Tonight, you are going to understand why there's absolutely nothing to show for it. You hustle, you earn money, you grind, but somehow, you are still stuck. And then some of us are in our 40s. Some of you are in your 50s. The same financial struggles that you had 20 years ago are the struggles you're having today. You struggled to pay house rent 10 years ago. Today, you are still struggling to pay house rent. So certain financial challenges and problems that you should have solved many years ago, you are still grappling with it. So the shocking truth is not about how much you earn. So becoming wealthy is not about how much money you make. It's about what you do with what you make. And I'd like someone to type it in the comment section as you join us. So it's not about how much money you make. It's about how much money, it's about what you do with the money you make. So somebody type it in the comment section. As usual, this is a coaching session, so I would like some interaction between us. So you type in the comment section, and then I will know that there is engagement and that you're listening. And if you have a question in the course of the conversation, do well to type it in the comment section. So it's not about how much you make. It's about what you do every single day with what you make. One of the biggest problems is that people are not able to connect their spending habits with the future. So many people who are in their 50s today cannot connect their financial situation today with the habit of buying chewing gum 20 years ago when they were in their 20s. They cannot connect it, what they are going through financially, with what they did with money in their 20s on a daily basis. They cannot connect it with the bottles of beer or soda that they were drinking every day. I've met people who drink 3-4 bottles of soda every single day. They drink lots of soda with every meal. So now they are in their 40s and their 50s and they are struggling financially. They cannot connect it to those bottles of soda. They cannot connect it to those bottles of soda, to those bottles of beer that they drank 20 years ago and which they probably still drink today. Okay? Is that making sense? Somebody type in the comment section. Type yes. Okay? Type yes in the comment section. And let me know. Okay? So is that helping you? One of the biggest problems I find with many of us who are in the 50s like myself and people in their 40s is that they cannot connect their spending, they cannot connect their financial frustrations today to their spending habits 20, 30 years ago. And then I also see that younger people in their 20s and 30s find it very difficult to map, to see the future of their spending habits today. They find it difficult to connect what the future is going to look like for them with the way that they are spending money today. So always realize it's not about how much money you make. It's about what you do every single day with the money that you make. Most people aren't broke because they are bad with money. This is going to be surprising to some of you. Most people are not broke because they are bad with money. They are broke because nobody ever taught them that money was a mirror. And you're going to learn that tonight. And if this message is resonating with you so far, do well to press that like button, because it's going to help the algorithm share it with the people who really need to hear this message. And also share it with your friends and family. Let them be part of this, because wealth is best built together as a family. In the future, I'm going to tell you how I and my family, my wife and children, how we dug ourselves by working out of money holes, out of difficulties, financial scarcity, by working together. So go ahead and share this video. Go ahead also and press that love button. Go ahead and press that love button, everyone. Okay, so in this video, I'm going to show you why your spending habits today are literally building your financial future or burning it. So everybody type in the comment section, build or burn. Type it, build or burn. And I would like you to select one. Just select, every one of you select. Are you going to build or are you going to burn? Everyone, build or burn. Type build or burn, then tell me the one you want to do. Do you want to build your future? Then type build. Do you want to burn it? Then type burn. Yeah, because it's okay, it's all a choice. Because some people are already burning their future. Okay, so build or burn. Everyone, type it in the comment section. And go ahead and hit the love button. Go ahead and hit the love button. It actually helps this to connect very well. Awesome. All right, so Yumi says build. Of course, it makes sense. Lawson wants to build. Uzoma wants to build. Sekinat Habib wants to build. Of course, why not? So I'm going to show you why your spending habits today are literally building your financial future. Everything we are going to discuss today is a very important foundation to building your wealth. In fact, this is probably the most important pillar. Your spending habit is the most important pillar in wealth creation. I'm going to, just shortly, if you hang on, I'm going to share with you my amazing story. It's unbelievable. Working with Chevron. How I was working in the best place that anybody in this country could work in. Yet I was heading to poverty. Have you seen anything like that? Somebody is earning a lot of money with a multinational oil company, yet he was on the road to poverty. That's exactly what was happening to me. And if I didn't apply the breaks that I'm going to teach you tonight to apply, it does not matter where you work. If you like, work with big Amazon, work with Shell, work with all of the big places to work. Work with all these big fintechs, work with the financial institutions. If you don't obey these simple rules, I'm teaching you tonight about spending. Literally, there's no hope. Remember, we are saying you are either going to build your future or you are going to burn it. And those choices are dependent on your spending habits. I'm also going to teach you about the two types of spenders. And then you're also going to love it. I'm going to use a metaphor that I created about the two destinies of your dollars. Because you are going to see how the destiny of $1 you spend in a certain way differs from the destiny of $1 that you spend in a certain way. And I'm going to open your eyes to see the destiny of $1 you spend in a certain way today in 20 years' time. And then the destiny of another dollar that you spend in a certain way today in 20 years' time. It's going to blow your mind. Okay, so and this is why most people, good people, they unknowingly stay in a cycle of financial pain. Financial pain. Please tell me in the comment section if you have experienced financial pain. Ladies and gentlemen, I have experienced financial pain, and it is not a joke. And all that pain came from what I'm teaching you tonight, my spending habit. If you have ever experienced financial pain, or you are actually experiencing financial pain right now, type in the comment section, financial pain. Everybody, interact with me. I like this interactivity because it helps us to connect. If you have ever experienced financial pain, like myself, type in the comment section financial pain. Because what I'm going to do is show you how people unknowingly stay stuck in financial pain. Yes, Lawson says financial pain, Sekinat, financial pain. Okay, very good. So it's a human experience. So I want you to note this. Put this at the front burner of your mind while we go on what I'm going to say right now. There's nothing small about a small expense. Everybody type this. Type this. Type this. Let it register in your brain. There's nothing small about a small expense. Because money has memory. What you do with it echoes through your future. So there are three things I've said here. And I would like you to type it. I would like you to make a note of it, because at the end of it, you are going to build your action plan and exercise based on these things I'm showing you. They're actually very sequential and methodical the way I'm going. So just follow me. Okay? There's nothing small about a small expense. There's nothing small about a small expense. Because money has memory. Type it. There's nothing small about a small expense, because money has memory. Ladies and gentlemen, I'm teaching you something that took me 60 years to do. I wish somebody had told me this earlier. Like when I was in primary school, taught me all these things. Money has memory. Money has memory. I remember sometime I was doing my postgraduate program, my postgraduate degree program at the University of Ibadan. Money was scarce, but it was something I bought one day with money that I'm so ashamed of. Now, I'm talking about 1997. This is how many years since that time? Like 20-something years, right? And I still remember that money still has memory, because there were certain things I shouldn't have bought with money. And money has memory. So there's nothing small about, nothing small about a small expense, because money has memory. Why is this important in what we are discussing, that money has memory? It's important because what you do with it echoes through your future. What you do with your money today echoes through your future. Don't just say, this is a small amount of money I'm spending on this thing. There were times I bought gadgets I shouldn't have bought. Gadgets. There were times on one occasion I was in the US, and then, they do these garage sales. And then they were doing some garage sales, and then there were these little crystals with a base, an electrical base, that if you plug it, these crystals, it actually emitted very beautiful light. And then I said, okay, I'm going to pack. This thing I'm telling you was like 2003. I said, okay, let me buy this things, because they were very cheap, $2 each. $2 each. I packed the entire thing from that garage sales, and they must have been maybe something crazy, like 30 of them. And I said, oh, when I come back to Lagos, I'm going to sell them and make lots of money. Ladies and gentlemen, I ended up not selling one of those things. And these things, they've stayed with us for all those years. Every time we move houses, until we got tired and then threw them away. That thing had memory. That thing I bought that day in 2003. This is almost how many years today? And 2025. That's 20-something years. That's like 22 years. That memory of what I bought, that thing I did with money, is still there. There are certain subscriptions and things you have bought, you subscribe to. That money echoes through your future. So there's nothing like small spending. Everything you spend has, because money has memory. Okay? All right, so let me take you back, and tell you my own story to build this foundation of what I'm teaching you tonight. You see, because what I tell you is very practical. These are not textbook things. These are things I've gone through. And these are things also that work for both of you, for both those of you who are watching from the United States or UK. Many of you are Nigerians living in those places. and Africans also living in Africa. Because what makes what I do very practical is that I have seen both worlds. And then there are certain things, for instance, Dave Ramsey would tell you to do in the US that you can't do here in Africa, because the economic systems are very, very different. But the principles are enduring and they're the same. So I used to work with Chevron. I started my career actually with Shell, like some of you probably already know. And from Shell, Chevron came and offered me something I couldn't refuse, almost 3 times what Shell was paying me at the time. So I left Shell and went to Chevron. And then 6 years after, Shell came back and offered me double what Chevron was paying me at the time. And I left Chevron and went back to Shell. After working with Shell for a couple more years, I decided, no. I would rather be doing what I'm doing today. Now, I earned lots of money. But this thing was so bad because I earned lots of money. But at the end of the month, we were literally gasping for air, financially speaking. Yes, you heard me. My wife would be looking for money to fuel her car for the children's school run. And we couldn't find money for fuel. And I was working in Chevron. At the end of the month, it's like, where did all this money go? If it has happened to you, please type me too. Type me too in the comment section. If this same thing has happened to you, type me too. Okay? Type me too. It was so bad that one day, my wife woke me up very early in the morning. That was when I had a reality slap. She woke me up very early in the morning and said, sweetheart, let's talk. She said, do you know that if we have an emergency now, that there's no 1,000 naira then saved anywhere that we can run to? So do you see that? So in this situation, type in the comment section, was I building or burning? Remember, I asked you whether you wanted to build or burn. Was I building or burning my future when I was working in a multinational that paid so well, but at the end of the month, we were still looking for money? That's what we are going to do, what we want to treat today. Okay? So I was always short at the end of the month, and then it was like, where did all the money go? And I never had answers. So it took me years to understand that it wasn't really about how much I earned. All right? It's about how I was spending without thinking. I was spending money without vision. And that's exactly what many of us are doing. And then at the end of today, I want you to build a skill and build a character to spend money with vision. Please type spend money with vision. Spend money with vision. Because if you're spending that $1 with vision, with careful thought, with intentionality, your future will be different than if you're spending that money without vision, the way I was doing. So I like you, let's use a simple metaphor. So I like you to imagine $2. They are identical. They are the same origin. I have my wallet here. I don't have dollars here, right? So I can use this. So I want you to imagine this. Okay, this is 1,000 naira each. They are identical. It's exactly the same value, the same origin at this time. Okay, so $1 or 1,000 naira one is invested. Okay, so this one is invested. So I put it here. Okay, so it's invested in, say, stocks, or maybe real estate, or maybe some other business. Come on, enter here. All right, so this one is invested. $1 or 1,000 naira one is invested. This other one is spent on chewing gum or pizza, or like when you go to the supermarket and you finish buying, they ask you to pick chewing gum or to pick some sweets or something, and then you buy that. So this one buys sweets or chewing gum, or it buys a bottle of soda. Okay, I want you to fast forward 10 years. What will happen to this one? This one would have grown, like 1,000 times. Okay, not a lot of dollars in my... This one would have grown. Okay, fast forward 10 years. So this $1 in 10 years probably would have grown to $1,000, or to $5,000, or to $10,000. What happened to $2? It's gone. The same $1, two destinies. Same dollar, different destinies. So here's what I want you to note down. $2, same today. One dies forgotten. One multiplies in silence. Wealth isn't what you earn, it's what you let grow. Type it in the comment section. Wealth is not what you earn, it's what you let grow. Type it, everybody. I want you to engage. I want this to register as you type it. And then as you come back to this video and make notes. Wealth isn't what you earn, it is what you let grow. Because that's why some people are in a very, very good job today. They are earning lots of money, fat salaries. Then they lose the job, and then within moments, these people are broke, and then many of them never recover. This is 2025 that we're doing this live video. There are people who lost their jobs during the pandemic in 2020. Up till today, I still meet people who had very excellent jobs. You know, banking jobs were really very good in those days. In this part of the world, they were envied. There are bankers who lost their job, and for 5 years, they haven't gotten themselves back. And today, they are begging for food. Why? Because wealth isn't what you earn, is what you let grow. I really wish I can stamp this, in the mind of every young person. So wealth is not when you come and then you're driving these big cars and then showing off with your babes. You're carrying these your babes, beautiful girls in the car with loud music. Oh, the boy has hammered. That is stupidity. That's not wealth. Wealth is not the car you are riding. Wealth is not even that house you rented that you're living in. You're living in Lekki Phase 1. Or in Ghana, you're living in a airport residential and all that. Wealth is not what you earn. It's what you let grow. It's what you let grow. So many wealthy people are not online. They are not the people you see online. There are people who are quietly growing things. Yesterday, I received a very fat dividend from GT Bank. And today, while I was still rejoicing about yesterday's dividend, UBA also paid me another beautiful dividend. And of course, like I explained in my investment philosophy, I buy things I use. And because I use these banks, I invest in them so that I'll be an owner. And what they pay me in dividends takes care of all the charges that people are complaining about, plus more. Now, that thing, the dividend, we are talking about spending habit. There are two ways I could spend it. I've shown you the $2 with the two destinies. Don't forget that metaphor. $2, two destinies. You spend one on chewing gum, or you spend it on soda. It goes. But you spend the other one, you invest the other one. In 10 years' time, it's amazing what will happen to your asset column. So what the GT Bank gave me yesterday is not wealth. But I turned it into wealth because immediately I transferred it to my investment account with my stockbroker. And guess what? I'm going to buy the same GT Bank with the dividend. The one of UBA I am transferring it because I don't want to touch the dividend. I want to reinvest it. Why am I doing this? Because I understand that wealth is not what you earn. It's not that credit alert. Wealth is what you let grow. So next time somebody asks you whether you are wealthy, your answer should come from this fact. Are you letting something grow? Do you actually have something that is growing? Or are you just earning fat money in your business or in your career or something? If that is just it, then you are not wealthy. Okay, but here is what most people don't even realize. This isn't just about money. It's about identity. Type identity, type identity, type identity, type identity in the comment section. Identity. Because I'm about to release something that will change your financial life forever if you pick it. Type identity in the comment section. Identity. Yes, Joshua, Amechi, Sekinat. Excellent. Thank you for engaging. I love it. I love it because it also brings out the ideas and the things I want to share when I see that you are engaging. And then if you haven't pressed the love button, please go ahead and do that. Do that very, very quickly. If you haven't also subscribed to this channel, please do so. It helps the algorithm to spread this to a lot of people. And then share it as well. Share it with your family and friends. I mean, if you believe that these things will help your people, help your friends and family, and those other people who are always out there asking you for money, instead of just giving them money, send them this. Because if their minds are rewired, they will stop disturbing you for money because they will also learn. So spread it, spread this message. Okay, so it's not just about money, it's about identity. So there are two spending personas. So when it comes to spending habits, there are two kinds of people. And then listen clearly, listen carefully as I explain, as I tell you about these two kinds of spenders. And then at the end of it, tell me the one you are. Just be very, very honest. Tell me the one you are, not the one that you want to be, the one you currently are. I'm going to explain these two spending personas. Tell me the one that you are, and then I'm going to tell you what to do about that. So, the first kind of spender, there are only two types of spenders. The first type is the emotional spender. Please type in the comment section. The emotional spender. I will explain it, and then I will let you tell me which one you are. So I'm going to explain both of them. So the emotional spender basically spends to feel good or to look good. The emotional spender. And then every family has them. Every neighborhood has them. Every person, you have them all around you. You are either one or there are some, around you or in you. So there's the emotional spender. They spend to look good or to feel good. So if it feels good, buy it. That's what they're telling you. So they buy very expensive things, clothes to feel good, even when they can't afford it. So they make money decisions based on their moods, based on their stress, based on boredom. That's about emotional spender. So some of them, when they're feeling bored, they enter the car and drive to the supermarket and just begins to buy in response to that mood or boredom or depression. Okay? The emotional spender typically thinks, oh, I work hard, I deserve it. And it's so common in the Nigerian space. I beg, let him enjoy his money. He worked for it. That's an emotional spender. Okay? And what is the future of the emotional spender? Guaranteed, like QED. The future is a future of stress. It's a future of regret. It's also a future of dependence. The emotional spender will end up depending and begging other people. So, and then the problem with emotional spenders is that they confuse comfort with control. They confuse comfort with control. So because you are doing all those comfort buying, or buying food, buying expensive phones, buying clothes, and to just comfort, but you are not actually in control. You're actually out of control. And it's actually that your out of control situation that is making you buy. But the emotional spender confuses comfort with control. But relief is not the same thing as repair. Somebody should type it. Relief is not the same thing as repair. Okay? Yes, Doris says that the emotional spender says, chop life before life chop you. That's hilarious. That's hilarious. That's the thinking of the emotional spender. Chop life before life chop you. You know, they can't see shawarma stand. They cannot see yogurt and ice cream store and drive past. Go chop life before life chops you. Okay, so let's talk about the second kind of spender. And then don't forget the emotional spender, because we still come back and I would like you to tell me sincerely, like honestly, the type you are, because that's what I want to correct tonight. So the second spender is the strategic spender. So type it in the comment section, the strategic spender. So how do you know the strategic spender? The strategic spender has a plan before the paycheck even lands. The strategic spender thinks, what future will this decision create for me? You see, I just told you what I did with my GT Bank dividend. It's a lot of money, hundreds of thousands. So I could actually have gone to buy something I've been looking for, something. There are things, I could buy, I saw some new cloth, some nice cloth shirts, somebody made that I could easily go make. The tailor is not very far from here. But before they pay out, I'm still expecting some dividends. I'm expecting Aradel, and Aradel is sweet. They are paying 22 naira for one share, and I have quite some bit of Aradel. So before the Aradel payment even comes, I already know what I'm going to do with it. I was an emotional spender before. That wasn't me before. That wasn't me the time I was working in Chevron. So an emotional spender can transform to a strategic one. Okay. So the strategic spender uses money as a tool, not therapy. So money is tool, not therapy. The emotional spender uses money as therapy. They use it, sometimes they say, they just want to show off and say all those people who said, that in my village, they all said I will not make it. They said that nobody in my family would make it. And so you go to town and you run by money. You do some crypto and then you run by money. Then you now drive to your village with a very powerful car. And then you loud music and you are driving around just to show everybody, now I've made it. That's therapy. That's therapy. That's not wealth. Remember, I told you earlier what wealth is. Wealth is not what you earn. It's not what you earn. And then the emotional spender uses it as therapy. But the strategic spender uses money as tool. What is the future of the strategic spender? The future of the strategic spender is peace, freedom, and options. You have options. I like it when, you can wake up one day and you decide, my wife, this is your car. I think you've had this car for a while. You need a new one. And then it wasn't like premeditated. You just, sweetheart, let's drive to the car shop. What do they call it? To the dealers. And then when she gets there, so just pick anyone that you like. And then she's going around and taking, it doesn't matter, you're not asking about price. Just pick anyone. You have options. You have options. And then, you want to travel, abroad. And actually this happened to me. I was traveling that was around the pandemic time. It was 2021. I was traveling to the US and I booked KLM using my Expedia account. And so Expedia, I bought the ticket, all right. Then Expedia, of course, routed me through Frankfurt. When I now got to the airport at Lagos to board, I was already in the boarding line. No, not in the boarding line. I was already in the check-in line, waiting there. You know how the check-in line goes, waiting and all that. When I got to the place that they were checking passports, the lady that looks at your passport, they looked at my passport and they saw, well, I had US visa, but it wasn't like a green card. So they said that only US citizens and green card holders could pass through Europe. Some of you will remember that time. If you actually traveled within that time, you'll remember. You remember what I'm telling you. They said only green card holders and US citizens could pass through Europe at the time. That there was no way I was going to be on that flight. And the flight was just like maybe an hour or something away at this point. And I had to be in the United States. So I did everything. I stayed there. I tried to call Expedia. Didn't you know that I was not supposed to pass through Frankfurt? Why did you go ahead to make me pay for this ticket? They didn't pick my call and things like that, for 45 minutes. So, and I couldn't fly with that. But then there was Delta. There was Delta that was also leaving the same evening. And they were almost already closing their counter. I had option. I quickly went to Delta. And that thing was very expensive. And I pulled out the card and gave them. I flew that night. If I didn't have option, what would have happened? I would never have traveled. And then I would start bothering, okay, how KLM refund my money. Eventually, they refunded it like maybe 70% of it or something. I don't know what they explained. But I was already in the United States. So that's what the strategic spender gets for the future. You have options. You have options. So your money doesn't determine what you want. You determine what your money should do for you. That's for strategic spender. So what's the difference? One is spending to escape. The other one is spending to build. So now for the question. Now for the coaching question. Tell me, which one are you at this moment? I want you to be very, very authentic. I'm not talking about what you will be. I'm not asking you which one is better. Which one are you right now? No, just choose one. Are you more an emotional spender or a strategic spender? Because it's going to help me to tell you what to do. If you're an emotional spender, you need how you are going to move on to strategic spender. So everybody tell me. Ayo says both. No, you can't be both, Ayo. I just want you to choose one. Are you an emotional spender? Okay. Julius says strategic spender right now. Fantastic. I love it. Love it. Okay. Who else? Who else? Okay. Doris says, I'm a strategic spender. I learned the hard way. I can understand. Okay. Yomi is strategic spender. I'm not surprised because for you to be on this live session tells a lot about you. The emotional spenders, I can tell you, most of them will not be here. Most of them will not be here at this time. This is Friday evening, so I'm not surprised. All I'm seeing here is strategic. And Clifford said, I used to be an emotional spender. Just like me, I was an emotional spender. And I learned the hard way as well, like Doris. I learned the hard way. I am wiser now, okay? All right, so most of you are strategic spender. And now, and I'm really very happy about that. But I'm sure we can still learn to be more strategic in our spending. So strategic spenders don't have more money. They have more vision. They don't chase feelings. They fund freedom. Yeah! Yeah! I love strategic spenders. I love strategic spending for these very reasons. Okay? The strategic spender does not necessarily have more money than the neighbor. They just have more vision. They just have a better vision for the future. The strategic spender does not chase feelings. They do not chase feelings. Okay? So they fund freedom. So chasing feelings versus funding freedom. Okay, so what are we going to do? What do we need to do to be more strategic? Because even though you answered that you're strategic, there's still room for improvement. Not so, right? There's still room for more learning, for improvement, and that is why you're here. Okay, so the first thing, we're talking about solving the problem of a spending or a lifestyle of spending or a spending habit that is not taking you to the future that you desire. Because what we've established today is that your spending habit today is either building or burning your future. So the first step is for you to track your spending without shame. Track it, because you can't change what you don't confront. All right, so if you find that you still do some bit of emotional spending, track your spending without shame. I don't know how many of us, because I'm also guilty of this. I don't know when last you printed your bank statement and then went through it line by line. So it actually helps. Do that exercise. Print out your bank statement for the past month and then highlight where your money went, because that will help you to understand yourself. Okay? And then ask this question. I want you to type this question. I want you to type this question as you look at your bank statement, or even before you spend any money, any amount of money tomorrow, as we're stepping into tomorrow, or even this evening when we finish. Ask yourself this question. When you look at your bank statement, was I spending for progress or for relief? Please type this question. I would like you to adopt this question and to install it in your mentality tonight. That every spending, every time money is leaving your wallet, no matter how much, remember we said that no spending is small. No matter how much, always ask yourself, this money I'm spending now, am I spending for progress or for relief? It makes a whole difference, okay? Because you can't fix what you are too afraid to face. Your bank statement is your financial diary. Your bank statement is your financial diary. So you read it like your life depends on it. Number 2, visualize the destiny of every dollar. Visualize the destiny of every dollar. Before you spend that $10, ask yourself, is this the chewing gum dollar or the investment dollar? Remember, I showed you the two destinies of the $2. One was invested, and then one was spent on chewing gum. So before you spend, visualize the future. These $10 in 10 years, what's going to become of it? Am I going to make this a chewing gum $10, or am I going to make it investment $10? Okay, very, very important. Is this the chewing gum dollar or the investment dollar? So create a moment of truth for yourself. So imagine your future self there watching you. Don't disappoint it. Imagine you in 20 years time watching you as you're spending that money. So don't disappoint that future you, because every dollar is on a mission. If you don't assign it a purpose, your feelings will. Every dollar is on a mission. If you don't assign it a purpose, your feelings will do it. So number 3, switch personas, one habit at a time. So you don't become a strategic spender overnight if you find yourself tending to become an emotional spender. So sometimes you can delay purchases for 24 hours if they are non-essential purchases. This thing saves me. It's helped me a lot, because there are certain things I would have bought. I just said, okay, let me go home and sleep over it. By the time I wake up the next morning, I discovered that I don't need that thing. if in 3 days time I still need that gadget or still need that thing, because so sometimes I'm shopping in Amazon. It's a crazy platform. They make it so easy for you, and when you buy one, they say the people who bought this also bought this. And then many times when you log in, they will tell you, they will show you what you had browsed, your browsing history. So you were looking for this. So sometimes when I go there and I see something, including subscriptions for software products that I use, because I have subscribed to so many software products that I'm not using, and I have all these hundreds of dollars. So now what I do is somebody says, okay, subscribe for this email marketing software, this other one, whatever. I sleep over it. I delay it for 24 hours. Okay? Set up, if you don't have it yet, set up a wealth account that gets paid before you start paying your bills. All right? Okay? Also allocate what I call joy spending, but within a clear boundary. So I do have joy spending. Like I like fruits. I like really fruits, like fruits in season. I eat a lot of it. Like mangoes are in season right now. So, and mangoes are expensive. In fact, yesterday I bought 8,000 naira worth of mangoes, particular species that I really like. And they're very expensive. So that's joy spending. But you put it within boundaries. For instance, it is within the boundaries of my health, because I really love it. I really love those things. So you don't become wealthy by what you feel. You become wealthy by what you repeat. All right, so as we begin to close, let me repeat this very, very strongly. Your spending today is writing the story of your tomorrow, okay? Your spending today is writing the story of your tomorrow. If you could see the future of your money choices, the money choices you are making today, you will treat that money you want to spend on snack, on shawarma, on meat pie, you will treat that money differently. You see, all these things I mentioned, I used to think they were cool things to eat. But until I started seeing, those things, I don't even have desires for them, anymore, because I see better things to do with money and also healthier choices to eat. Okay? You are going to treat that your $100 very, very differently, because small things repeated becomes everything. Small things repeated become everything. Again, you do not need higher income to win. You need higher awareness, especially of how you spend money. Okay? The future isn't far away. It's quietly arriving with every financial choice you make today. The future is not far away. Every financial choice you make today is speeding towards your future. All right. I want to introduce you to the Financial Fitness Challenge. We run it every month right now and is currently enrolling. So it is my mentorship group. Like here, I drop big nuggets of wisdom, for you here that can actually lift you up. And people have been on my YouTube pages and doing very well financially. Like one of my friends says, I love it and I'm copying it. He says, if you are not following me, you are losing money. So the Financial Fitness Challenge is my mentorship group, people who come closer. And in the Financial Fitness Challenge, you get a choice. You get a chance to work with me and other people in the group on your finances. You get a chance to also implement these things you're learning, because it is not just in learning them. It's not just in learning them and keeping them in your head, but it's in executing them, one at a time. So we are currently enrolling for the Financial Fitness Challenge. It is 125,000 Nigerian Naira or $125, but there is early bird access of 105,000 Nigerian Naira now. So if you are ready to take your finances to the next level and stop beating about the bush when it comes to creating sustainable wealth and creating a future that you'll be proud of, then send a WhatsApp message to the number I'm going to give you right now. And then in the WhatsApp message, just say, send me payment details. And then I'll send it to you, and then you will join us as soon as you enroll. So the WhatsApp number to send a message to is +234 for the Nigerian code 8088 000 111. So let me say that again. +234 8088 000 111. So just send to me and say, send me payment details, and then you will receive that message in the next few minutes, and then I'll be looking forward to welcoming you there. And now our live sessions on YouTube is every day at 8 p.m. GMT +1, Monday to, not every day, every day during the work day, the work week. So Monday to Fridays, and at this same time, 8 p.m. Sometimes it could be earlier, sometimes it could be a little later, depending on other commitments and sessions that I have. So, but if you haven't subscribed to the channel, please do it right now as I'm talking. Just hit the subscribe button and make sure to hit the notification bell so that anytime I'm online, you are going to get the message. You're going to get it in your email automatically to tell you when I'm online. And then if you do have questions, do ask them under the comment section. And if there are topics and titles you would like me to address, put it there. I'll read your comments, and then I'll be able to do that. Okay, so it's been wonderful looking at this topic, your spending habits today, review your financial future. So until this same Monday, keep showing up, because you have no idea what's coming your way next. And I'll talk to you really soon.